brand for your business. We have Sujata Biswas, co-founder at Suta, Udita Bansal, founder True Browns, Megha Desai Ashar, co-founder and COO at Juicy Chemistry. With this, I invite Abhishansa Mathur, founder and editor, Local Samosa, up on the stage to continue this conversation with our panelists. Over to you, Abhishansa.
Yeah, so now as you're here, so what are the kind of content that you put out for your personal branding, and which is the platform that tops for you?
For personal branding specifically, so what works for content both for True Browns and for myself is being as authentic as possible. We have this hashtag True You that we have for the brand, where we're saying that true voices, or what you truly stand for, is what we are actually pushing. So content around so anything that's authentic works. A consumer today is very, very informative. They are looking at not just what you are presenting, what you're showing to them, but also the why of it. So every time we touch upon the why, that gets a lot of traction. So both on the brand page and my page. Specifically, as I was mentioning, when the connection went off, when we are saying we go back to the roots, we are also touching upon consciousness, slow living. And today, content around that gets a lot of traction. So even on my own personal my channels, I myself lead a life like that. So whatever I put across is very, very authentic. And I agree with them, it's very broken, it's not fancy looking page, but it's very authentic. So the content around slow living, I put a lot of greens again, close to nature. We're talking about this woman who is close to culture, art, music. I myself put content around that, so that gets a lot of traction. I think the base is this, that when we are putting across what we stand for, consumers understand, and consumers love it, even if it is not, in true sense of nicely looking picture or reel, but if it is authentic, people love it. In terms of channels, for personal branding, I agree with them. I feel LinkedIn is the tool, is the channel to go for and to build. And we I think all of us don't use it to the extent we should be using it. It's a great channel to tell your story, connect with the right set of people, and build a forum around what you're doing, why you're doing, why you started it, where do you want to go. And there's like a whole amount of support that one can get on that channel. Yeah.
So to Megha, question is for you, and this comes from my personal experience. So I come from a tier 2 city, Jodhpur, and when I started this publication, I found the gap that there is a lot of information about metro cities, but for tier 2 cities like as Jodhpur, it's always seen as a tourist place. So when I started, we heavily focused on tier 2 cities, talking about local crafts and local businesses and so much and so more. So there was a time when my persona intersected with local samosas so much so that if someone would actually follow us diligently, would say that admin loves chai and rajma chawal. So, but as we grew and added more kind of content and that are more than my personal passion points, right? So as you grew, like you started Juicy Chemistry because of your personal reason, but then as you grew, I think you have launched another brand under this. So how do you grow about it? Like, how do you think a brand can separate its persona from the founder as it grows, even though initially the intersection of the personas can contribute to the brand's growth during its early stages?
So I'm going to sorry, this is going to be my last question, guys. I'm so sorry. There's another meeting that I've committed to that I'll have to drop off for. I think the underlying story never changes. Like when we talk about color chemistry, I mean, there's a reason why it's attached to the words juicy chemistry, because the underlying ethos of the brand are highly similar. It's India's first certified organic makeup brand. I mean, when we talk about having certified organic kajal, certified organic foundation, there's no other brand that's done it, compacts and so on. So the goal for us was not to launch just another brand, right? There's enough and more in the market. I mean, why would you do a price war and launch something where everybody's doing the same job, right? White labeling and getting similar products out. The idea has to be very similar, that it has to solve a purpose. Like for me, for the longest time, I could not wear makeup because it would clog my skin because of the silicates used into the product, right? The kind of silicons used, the kind of ingredients used to make sure it's heavy stay. So in a market where people talk about 24-hour transfer proof and it is waterproof, we are openly saying, boss, it's not waterproof, it's not transfer proof. It will transfer onto your cup because that's what a lipstick is supposed to do. I mean, when have you finished a whole tube of lipstick? Why are you hesitant to reapply your lipstick? Instead of getting damaged lips, pigmented lips, and then solving for it by saying, oh, you know what, I need a AHA exfoliation treatment, or I need a vitamin C treatment for my lips because my lips have gotten pigmented using these heavy duty lipsticks, you rather reapply. It's such a simple solution. So we are something where we are talking about it in a very open sense that, guys, let's not do something just for the sake of it. Is there really merit to this? So personally, because I could never apply makeup, I would immediately start having clogged skin, acne, and I would, like, even in weddings, I would have to tell the makeup artist, "Arey, nahi, don't put this, just apply halka sa makeup." And then I'm like sitting and removing. And most people don't know about double cleansing. Like, it's today where we see people actually take that effort to cleanse their skin twice. Otherwise, most people take a wet wipe and just clean their makeup. So it's like, imagine, an orange peel and you're just cleaning the makeup on the top. It gets into your pores. It's not going to clean it up. So vicious cycle of bad makeup causing bad skin trauma, and then trying to heal that skin problem, but you're not realizing that makeup is your culprit, right? So that's one of the reasons why consumers came to us saying, can you formulate something? I can't use a kajal, my eyes get irritated, I get watery eyes and so on. So my kajal is not smudge proof, but if I don't touch it, it stays the whole day. It's simple as that, right? Like, if I'm going to fiddle around with it, it is going to spread. So you wipe it off and you again apply it. But if I don't touch it, it stays on the whole day just fine. So that's where color chemistry also resonates with what I as a founder want for my brand. It's not something where we start looking at it over a few years that, oh, it's been 9 years now, people know we're organic, we can just do anything under the sun. We don't really take that approach, because as founders, if you lose that goal, you lose that insight that, okay, I need to be honest to my audience, it breaks trust somewhere, because, and especially today where the audience is very well averse, right? They read everything, they're aware of what's going on. We get the strangest of questions, and today, like, consumers are so conscious of what's in their product. So I feel really blessed that, okay, we are making something and people are understanding the difference around it. So I feel you can't take the founder out of the brand. And that's why it's a very personalized journey. I mean, I don't know how it works for, I'm sure, like, I see Suta also. I think it's a lot attributed to what both Tanya and Sujata have built over the years. I mean, we follow each other. I love what they're doing and I love what they're building. And I think it's phenomenal because, you see their style, you see their spunk in their branding. And if they take it out, like she said, if they bring another model, people are not going to, really resonate with the brand. So you can do a lot of things, but if you take away the basic philosophy, what a founder really believes on, I don't think your brand then exists the way it should. It will cease to exist at some point. So, yeah.
Right.
But bye, guys. Sorry, really sorry. I have a flight.
It was
I'm
nice
going to be in
chatting.
trouble. Sorry,
Thank you
guys.
for the good
I
discussion.
would
Thank
love
you.
to catch up with you sometime. Love what you're doing as well. Thanks a lot. Take care, guys. Bye.
So, Sujata, what is the upside of having a strong personal brand to advocate your business?
Sorry, I lost you. I'm so sorry. Can you repeat that?
So, what is the upside, according to you, when you have a strong personal brand to advocate your business?
So I feel you are given a couple of entities to work with, right? It's a chaotic market. There's information overload. Everyone's seeing immediate move, your finger move, because you just want another content to quickly come and occupy that space. It's that fast. So when you can, there are different ways to break the clutter, right? And there could be different anchors also. For example, brand is one anchor. You yourself could be an anchor. Your co-founder can be another anchor, and you pull each other up when there is chaos, when there is so much information. So you can be that person who is making sure that people are maybe. You can use yourself as whatever. You can be the style icon for the brand. You can be that person who people trust and relate to, and you be that nice person, who anyone can reach out to. You can do networking for your brand, which a brand per se cannot do on its own. A brand would be a company, and then a person coming in and doing the stuff, similar stuff for you, will be a very different kind of engagement that can happen with a founder. So I feel personal branding plays a very important role, where you can just become probably another strong wheel for the brand, which is like helping the brand run. Also bringing authenticity, just making that okay, I endorse it because I'm showing my face, I'm talking, I'm a living human being and moving around. You can be your own brand ambassador by not spending a lot of money, which was one of the reasons why I showed my face. So I feel there are different ways you can use your personality to create complement your brand, or even like take the brands to a greater or different height. So I think it's that different there are a lot of upsides to personal branding.
Sounds fair. So, Udita, I have been following you since I think very early for True Browns, and cause of why there was plus size clothing was not really too in it, and I think I interviewed as well, and but since you started, and when I see your collection now, it has grown leaps and bounds, and the kind of outfits or collection has come, that has also grown so much. So do you believe in the concept of building in public, where maybe you get those insights from your audience, from on your personal connects? How do you manage to grow it so much?
Absolutely, Abhishansa. What we put across out there, whether it was the extreme size offering, or the product catalog, as you're saying, is now very extensive. It is a lot of understanding of, or listening to what the consumer is saying and what the market is saying, keeping the brand ethos and the purpose of brand at the core. So everything that we are building, and this work started very, very strongly around 3 years back, where we said, okay, we look at consumer reviews and we look at consumer data across all channels, and plug that back into the product to the extent. And let me share this thing. There was this collection that we launched last year, Marty, and there was some production delay, and because of that, the extreme sizes somehow did not end up launching at the time of the collection launch. We got such a backlash from our consumers, and that actually was, we were on it, we knew that it's going to come in 10 days, but that actually showed the strength of what we had built, because consumers were waiting for it. There is a set of consumers who said that why it's not there, we were waiting for it. So listening to consumer reviews, and looking at data very, very strongly, plugging it back into everything that we're doing in terms of product, communication, marketing, our operations, service, how we talk, everything is plugged in basis that.
So, Sujata, in the era of cancel culture, how can founders effectively handle the spillover effects of brand-related criticism? Even the negative reception of founders' personal opinions can also impact the brand reputation. So what are the strategies one can employ to mitigate the potential damage in any which ways and maintain a positive brand perception?
I think it's so difficult, right? It's literally like, you want to, when you are present, you would want to reap the benefit, but when something goes wrong, you cannot run away. It is just it's there, right? Thankfully, we haven't faced anything like that, but I know that if something like that ever happens, both the parties, like if Suta or my personal page, will suffer, right? So I feel there could be a couple of guidelines, like things that you do not want to touch upon, do not want to talk about. For example, maybe politics you don't want to talk about, or something which has opinion. For example, because when you're running a brand, you have to understand that you are representing maybe. We are representing some 20,000 people, let's say 17, 18,000 people. The people who are working, and they're from different areas, different religious values, everything is very different. So when you are passing a comment or you're saying something, it could just affect the whole organization. And not just that, if there's a backlash or there's something negative said about you, you have to own it up, and you have to be prepared for that. So I feel it's a very it's a very mindful thing that you have to do, that some things even in a personal page you cannot talk about, which can have a repercussion to a brand. And you have to realize what is your audience like, because the similar audience might be following you on your personal page. So so I think understanding that my brand represents this, and because of that, even if sometimes I do not believe in what my brand says, which is rare, even if that is there, just making sure that you never talk about it or never promote it or never celebrate that. So I think these are a couple of things you have to remember, because you are representing the brand at the end of the day. Even, for example, I'll tell you one example is other brand reaching out to me saying, if you want to endorse my brand, and it could be anything, right? It could be cosmetic product, it could be accessories. That's when you have to decide whether that brand's ethos matches with your own brand, because you cannot be representing another brand which you probably do not trust in, or maybe you do not know about. So I think there are these things which you have to weigh in, and whenever kind of opportunities come, when you're posting something or there is a collaboration that you're doing, just making sure that your presence there has what impact on the brand, just write down and then take a call.
So, Udita, this is for you. How do you strike a balance between promoting your brand offering and providing valuable insights for your community online? I checked your LinkedIn page and I spotted that you were talking about a lot about like your networking area, and then you also talked about you spotted Sania Mirza wearing one god set from your brand. So how do you find that balance? This is not oversharing and this is not over promoting your brand.
What's the question exactly? That how much sharing, how much of it, how do
you strike a balance for your like promotional content and where you are adding valuable insights as well?
I think it's balanced, because as founders, firstly, we are breathing the brand every second, right? We are literally breathing the brand every second. So every time, whether it's a spotting or something that we have done, like we talk about repurposing waste fabric a lot, whether it is some content like that, or it is something that we are doing in office in terms of some kind of activity, that's just about sharing our everyday, how we are living. So I think it is balanced. This is I mean, I don't overthink it. And agar hum nahi promote karenge to we have to be the ones to do it, and it comes from within. And I'm sure it's same for Sujata. It would not become to a point where is it overdone. No, I think when we are not authentic and when we're talking something that we don't believe in, or we are talking something just to be a part of the group, or something that is in trend and we want to be a part of it, that is when that this is not authentic. And that's when I mean, I don't post then. I mean, I will not post that content. And I know a lot of founders who will not post because it is not true to who they are, and then who like what the brand is, because essentially the founder and the brand in a way are just like theirs together, same all the time, every second. So it's balanced. I mean, as long as you are real and authentic and you're true, it's balanced.
Okay. So last two questions for both of you. So one founder you follow whose personal branding game is on point according to you?
Okay. Yeah, I have many founders to follow, and I love their content. I think one founder I would say is Kirti Punima. I love her page. She ran Okai, and now she's moved on to a brand called and Resto both. So anyway, we use Relove, but not just because we work together, but also the fact that how genuine she is and how she shares her snippets, her learnings, and it is also like a community where you talk about, and I feel a page is super insightful. Another founder I would say is from founder of Pinkley, Daisy Tanwani. I think I love her page. She's absolutely authentic, and her love for animals just shines through and just gives me a lot of satisfaction and happiness that, people do good and they're sharing it and just spreading, such a great message. And yeah, I love these two people. I have tons of names though, but I'm just naming two.
I might ask you for references, maybe. What according to like whose personal branding game is on point according to you?
The first name that came to my mind, and I think we should message Kirti after this, is Kirti Muria. It's just spot on. And I think she's doing a great job both on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and a great, balance of personal and professional content going out, and very informative, very, very engaging. So yes, I think Sujata, we need to tell Kirti, yes, bye.
Even one day she shared her story where she started early. Then she said कि तीर को ये कर दिया है, अब ऐसे चल रहा है, अब मेरा ये meeting है, now I'm going for a workout, now I'm back, now I'm having meeting. I was like, कैसे कर लिया पूरे दिन में? कैसे plan कर सकते? But yeah, I remember showing it to my sister as well.
Yeah, it's very relatable. It's very insightful.
Right. So,
So
one
it's like a
learning
mix of everything. So I think it's amazing. Sorry.
No. So one learning on personal branding you would like to share?
I think one learning I would say is that so I think people first they want to know you, and then you become likable, and then they have this trust that they build. That this trust, feeling of trust that comes in. I feel when they like you, then they'll listen to you, watch you, consume your content. But the moment the trust comes in, they would love to work with you. I think that's the tipping point. I think the moment you become first they know and then like, the moment it comes to trust, the moment when you can engage the audience and make them trust whatever you're saying, I think that's when that's your A game. That with the top of everything in that series. I feel knowing, trusting, liking, and then trusting. So keep working towards it, I would say. And if people start trusting you, and that's when you'll get business, people will listen to you and will actually implement what you're saying. So yeah, that's my learning.
And Udita, about you?
My learning is keep it real and keep it authentic. Whether it is, even if it is not fancy looking, it's all right. Because people today love what is real. And I agree with Sujata. I feel that realness goes to the trust, and that trust then finally goes to when people want to talk to you, work with you, or build that community with you. And that is when you know that even if you don't have to try hard, you just have to be real, and the message goes across. So I think another way to put this is don't try too hard, because then you're not being your true self. So I think that's the takeaway for personal branding.
Thank you so much, both of you, and even Megha, for joining, and even our audience for joining us here on the Friday evening when it's pouring so much, at least in Mumbai. So, but I'm sure we all have imbibed a few learnings from you both and Megha, and hopefully I get inspired to even pen down my thoughts as well and build my personal brand. Sooner or later, I'm hoping this from so long, but yeah, I hope this inspires me.
Wishing you guys all the best, and thank you for having us. It was brilliant. Yeah, it was brilliant, and good to meet you, Udita.
Same here, Sujata. Thanks for having here.
Karuna,
thank you. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Karuna. Bye. Bye.